Go ahead, you tell them your side of the story.
I never get the dates right. So I think it was 72 or 3. 4.
It was 74.
And I was working at a theater in Boston called the Charles Playhouse. And I was working in the box office and house managing maybe. And Les came to the theater looking for a job and was hired in the box office.
Yeah, initially in the box office and then doing tech work.
Yeah. And so we became friends.
That was January of 74.
It was 72, 73, 74.
I was at the University of Indiana in 72, 73, so it couldn't have been. But at any rate, yeah. So in 74 in Boston.
And so we got to know each other just as friends.
We spent a lot of time together in those years, but we also spent a lot of time together, I guess it was group dating. I can remember going to discos you'd go with a group of 6 or 8 friends. You didn't go as a couple. And we would go out to dinner, and you'd go out to dinner with 4, 6, 8 people. You didn't go out as a couple. It was just...
And when we partied with, a group of people. And it was both straight and gay. Even back then, in the mid-70s, when it wasn't necessarily easy to be out, we were in a group of people where it was easy to be gay.
And it was all coming out of that same, what we call peace, love, and die period. These were all very open group of people. And many of whom are still our friends today.
One of my college roommates became a part of this group, and he was a gay man. One of Gary wasn't a college roommate, but somebody he grew up with who was also a gay man, was living in Boston and became a part of this extended group. So it was just okay to be gay. We didn't want to hide, although still at that point we were still coming out to our friends and family and work in various ways in this comfortable social environment with that group of people. We were who we were. As we connected sexually, that just became another part of this extended family.
Which was very accepting of the whole relationship.
And I would be with Les, I'd be with somebody else, I'd be with Les, I'd be with somebody else, I'd be with Les, I'd be with somebody else, and he'd be with some other people too.
He didn't keep track of the people I was with any better than he kept track of how when we were together. But it was a time of for us in our lives, it was a time for experimentation, and we did all those wild and crazy things that people do when they're in their 20s, and had a good time doing it, and enjoyed it, and survived it, and have grown in our relationships with many of those people. Their relationships, many of them are married and still together, and in fact, we have relationships with their extended family, with their children now, who think of us as part of their family. And now they're adults, and they're going through the 20-something period, and it's fascinating to see all of that happening, because in our heads we're still there, even if our bodies have told us we've moved on.
We are very fortunate to have found this group of people, because we've come together and moved apart as our lives have changed. But somehow a core group of these people have stayed connected. And we come together at holidays, we come together at graduations, at births, at deaths, at weddings. And in addition to our blood families, We have this extended family of really good friends who are also now, part of our families. It's really very nice. Somehow we always kept coming back to each other. Even though we hadn't made a primary commitment to each other that this was going to be, we were going to be together forever. He would have work, he would have other relationships, I would do the same, and yet we kept coming back to each other and struggled, I think, over trying to find out if we were going to be a long-term relationship.
But never I don't remember any, there was not a continuing saga of drama and big scenes between. This wasn't like we'd come together then we have a big split up. It was kind of, it was a different time. It was okay to be, playing the field, and we'd be together for a while, and then, one of us would get involved with somebody else, and that wasn't necessarily encouraged, but it wasn't a big scene about that. And
I kind of remember there were times when it was scary or challenging or
there still are times it was
well,
scary.
Of course, but it wasn't as if it was easy in and out of relationships
Right.
all the time.
No.
There were times when I remember getting involved with, somebody, and I was afraid of how you would feel about it, or how it would impact us. And there were some dramatic times, I think. Not hysterical times, but...
Most dramatic if one of us got involved with a woman.
Yeah.
Then that seemed to be more dramatic than if it was another man.
That's what I was thinking about,
Yeah,
actually.
Exactly.